This is how I live united. I say retired, but not really. Once a week, I read books to children as part of United Way's education program. Reading to a child creates links between language and literacy. It creates a bond between grown-up and child. And believe it or not, it prepares them for a better academic future. Oh, we read about frogs and flies and pigs with wings, all sorts of juicy stuff. It's a joy to watch all those little faces. I figure I have the time and they have the need. And I've always believed that if we're not here to help each other, then what are we here for really? My name is Ruth Rusey. I help kids prepare to succeed in school. So I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Welcome back. And we on back on. And you know, we back on with some more powerful people. Why you tapping me, Sean?
Because I need to do that. Because if not, the music don't work with the show.
I'm professional.
We need
I'm
the music.
professional.
You know what? It's
I'm
just
professional.
me. It's just me. Okay, glad to have you back.
Yeah, we back with some of the, you know, let me say it like this, all right? There's a lot of organizations out here that's claiming to do the work.
Okay.
But this is an organization that I know that just came out the gate, you know. It's almost like that little baby, you know, that came out and just said, you know, where's my clothes, where's my shoes? We ain't got to do no pacifier. Let's get with this because this is what it's got to be.
I never heard that story.
You never heard that story? Boy, let me tell you, these youngins.
You taking it back right now.
I'm taking it back.
I heard about that.
You know, I met this young lady through her book. She asked me to help her with her book, and then, you know, she was doing real good. And I mean, the book is powerful. It talks about her past, and the one part that gets me is that this is a young lady that turned her whole life around and did a whole lot of stuff for our community, you know, as well as she took an ambulance ride. Here we go. And I cannot help, every time I hear that story, I gotta go, wee!
Serious.
The banks are here. The banks are in the house. The banks are in the house. I ain't gonna stop. I'm just gonna say the banks are in the house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I want to welcome y'all. Thank y'all for coming out and being with us on our show. This is What's Up, Boston. We want to let Boston know what's up. So why don't y'all holler out? Tell everybody, what's the Black Economic Justice Institute about?
The Black Economic Justice Institute is about exactly what it says, Black economic justice, and that's what we want. That's what we're trying to do in our community. We're trying to, you know, bring awareness to our community about what's going on, what's happening, what's not happening in our community, and so we you know, we working hard, you know. Right, Brother Love?
Yeah, that's right. And we want to thank you for having us this evening. And we want to shout out to everybody that's listening and introduce them to the Black Economic Justice Institute. For those who don't know us, it would be wonderful if you get a chance to know us.
Okay.
That's right.
And that's why you're here.
That's why you're here.
And we're glad to have you here.
So thank you very much.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Because I put out demands over here, you know. And listen, y'all, won't y'all call in, because we're going to get into this conversation, but I want y'all to call in 617-373-2658 and get into the conversation with us.
And you know what, Supreme? The thing about it is, when we get deep into a topic like this, the phone lines actually do blow up.
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
You know,
Yeah.
when we're doing something positive, food for thought, the phone lines do, they do blow up.
So I'm going to ask y'all to put your brain seatbelt on.
Right.
And let's get ready to ride.
All right.
All right.
So basically, I'm going to start the question off. I'm going to start it off like this. You know, why haven't we recovered? You know, in the 1920s, we had it all. We had it, you know, for ourselves. We were shunned by others, and we could not get what we needed, so we provided to ourselves. And then because we were so successful in providing for ourselves, it was destroyed. It was taken away from us. You know what I'm saying? And we never recovered. Why?
because the because the white supremacists never wanted us to recover, because they are afraid of us, because they know that once we come together as black people, that we will and can take over this country. You see, we don't need white people; they need us. But we still have that slave mentality,
Domesticated.
And, yes,
A lot of us.
Yes, and so we so afraid of massa, that we're afraid to do anything for ourselves. But the devil's a liar and the truth ain't in him, because we are some strong people.
But Massa used to be a physical person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Used to be a physical person.
Yeah.
You see how mean that person look. You seen how nowadays Massa doesn't. He's invisible. You can see right through him.
No, massa is government.
Well, that's why I say.
And plus, it's mental now. It's mental. It's like if you take an elephant and you chain him to a tree. After a while, you could take that chain off him, and he'll still stay around that tree.
Right.
We are so into. They've taken the physical change off us, but the mental change are even worse than the physical.
Tell me about it, brother.
Yes.
Tell me about it. What do you think it's going to take for us to recover?
Well, I just want to say that we are really, it's been a surge. I'm really glad, I'm proud, because at this time, especially in the Boston, there's a lot of conscious people that's really coming together now. There's a lot, there were moments when it was just hopeless here.
Yeah.
One thing I gotta tell it like this, brother. Black people are scared. We scared. You know what I'm saying? And we really got to get away from this fear, because we shouldn't fear nothing but God Himself. Okay? But there is a surge, and I can tell it from a lot of the people that we've been running into, a lot of positive things people are trying to do, and I can really say that there's going to be a change here in Boston.
Oh, it's going to be a change.
Yes.
By all means, necessary.
A change is gonna come.
That's right. That's right.
So I see a lot of groups pulling together, and one of the things that I'm and I've been talking about it, and I've been talking about it for the past 3-4 years, is a black Chamber of Commerce.
Mm-hmm.
Why haven't we began there? And I did find out that DeJanie's father at one point had a black Chambers of Commerce here in Boston.
It's coming back.
And it's coming back, and that's the first step. But a lot of people is like, they're not gonna let y'all do no black Chamber of Commerce, and I gotta keep on letting everybody know it ain't about what they let you do.
That's right.
Ain't nothing in this country been given to nobody. Everything's been taken.
That's right.
Straight from when Christopher Columbus came over here.
Mm-hmm.
With his lying,
talking
about he discovered America. Yeah,
he didn't even make it over to America. I ain't on yet. You know what I'm saying? But I gotta, to say in Christopher's favor, he did try to go for that equality thing, because he was trying to make it equal for everybody, but it just wasn't working out. No savage can really talk about equality when it's savagery on savagery. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Who understands that? No one's never understood a peaceful mind. So again, we are the most, and I can see why. And this is, somebody pointed this out to me. I want to see how y'all take this. If the country was discovered by Christopher Columbus, who was a criminal himself, then the United States of America they lock up most of their goddamn criminals. But yet they honor this man one day every year. But yet they lock up their criminals. And the United States is not a free man's land. It's a concentration camp. And we argued about this, and I was going back and forth with this guy, and he makes a lot of sense when you speak of it that way. They allowed the criminals to come over and discover or take over, and then they locked up the criminals so that they can control them. And it's a crazy. So what's your intake on that?
Go ahead, sir.
Well, first of all, I believe that when they brought us over here from Africa, they never intended for us to be free, and I always go back to that scripture in the Bible where it talks about you can have slaves, but you should only supposed to have them for 7 years, and then you're supposed to let them go, and then you're supposed to let them go with whatever they brought to you. If they got family, you're supposed to let the family go. If they help you with your cattle and all that, you're supposed to let that
That
go.
was the lie.
Yeah.
That's the bamboozle part.
Right.
That's right.
But the thing about it is that they never intended for us to be free, because as we look at history and we look at our black history, and as we learn, they never wanted us to be free. They always wanted us to be slaves. And even if you look at it now, mass incarceration, that's just another way of slavery. And I'm then so done with the U.S. Constitution, because I'd be like, that don't even apply to us, because when that was written, we were slaves.
We were slaves. We was cattle. And if it wasn't for John Hanson, who got us to 1/4,
Right.
we wouldn't even be considered 1/4 human.
That's right.
A lot of people don't even understand that. I'm like, yo, well, there's so many things that we drop the ball on, and we need to pick those balls up.
That's right.
And that one thing is that Constitution. We really need to attack that.
We do, because it doesn't make any sense. How can you have a constitution that says all men are created equal when you got
1/4 in black.
Well, they didn't consider us as men.
right?
No, they did not.
Yeah,
Nor you were not man, woman, or child.
Right.
You was cattle.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
So,
Exactly
my thing is, okay. So we just need to take the U.S. Constitution and just dump it in the sea with the T.
You don't want to amend it?
No, I don't want to amend it. What's amend?
You know how they put that patch and.
I know.
Right.
But I think about